Hello and welcome to today's edition of Your Questions Answered with Father Gruner. I'm John Vennari. We take your questions. Father Gruner answers them. We have discussions about them. You can keep sending us your questions. See the email at the bottom of the screen, questions@thefatimacenter.com. This actually came from at least 3 people recently. And that is, may I go to Mass at a chapel of the Society of St. Pius X? And is the Society of St. Pius X in schism?
Well, the short answer, of course, is no. And of course,
no, they're not in schism. Yes, you may go to Mass.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, I answered the last question you put to me first. But they're not in schism. But you can say, okay, well, why do you say that? Well, there's a ruling by Cardinal Ratzinger, as when he was Cardinal Ratzinger, in charge of the CDF, in charge of the Congregation for Doctrine and Faith, on this very question. In fact, it was a bishop who brought this question, Bishop de Lorenzo, if I recall his name correctly, from Hawaii, who excommunicated, if I recall, some people for having their children confirmed by, I forget which bishop of the 4 bishops of the society, and could have been Bishop Williamson, but it doesn't matter, whichever one it was. And on the basis that they had their child, and there were 6 or 7 of them, had their child or children baptized, confirmed by the bishop of one of the bishops of the Society by St. He excommunicated these families for doing that. And so it was a case that was brought to court in the Vatican. It was heard by Cardinal Ratzinger, and he said, the bishop is wrong. Now, let me tell you, having the Vatican come out and say the bishop is wrong is unusual, to say the least. It doesn't happen every day. But in this case, he clearly said, no, people have a right to have the bishop, and they're not in schism for having a Society of St. Pius X bishop confirm their children. That should be enough for them. But I would like to answer more, but maybe you have to comment yourself.
Well, no, I think this is a topic we've talked about before, and that is that, you know, what you have to ask the question. It's something you say all the time, that for you to be put under an ecclesiastical penalty, you have to have committed a crime.
Yes.
So first of all, what crime has the Society of St. Pius X committed? And it's what I call the crime of fidelity.
Yes.
Because they have remained, and traditional Catholics like them, have remained faithful to what the Church and the popes have always taught for 2,000 years.
Just so you know, I mean, what you're quoting me, but it's really not me you're quoting. You're quoting the new code of canon law promulgated by Pope John Paul II, and which says that in order, I presume it's in the old code too, but it's in the new code, I think it's 221, if I'm not mistaken, that no one, not a priest, not a bishop, not a society, and not a layperson can be punished by the Church, called that he's suspended, called that he's excommunicated, called that he's whatever, and given penalties besides being given those titles, unless he's actually committed a crime worthy of that penalty. And they haven't got a crime for the society in the first place. And the fact is, we could talk about this for a long time, but is it a citizen? No. And the second question is, can I go to Mass, say St. Pius X? Also, we had cardinals in the Vatican.
The Ecclesia Dei office, yes. Yeah. They actually said, it's funny because they said, this happened twice, and at least in one of them they said, not only may you go to Mass, but you may also give contributions.
Yes.
And they put a proviso in, saying something like, so long as you don't mentally attach yourself to their schism, or something like that. Well, that's true, but there is no schism.
Yes.
So you can't attach yourself to something that isn't there.
Yes.
Really stressed. So, and the whole purpose is to keep the Mass and keep the totality of the Catholic faith as it always was,
yes,
as Vatican I says, in the same meaning and in the same explanation.
Yes.
So we hope that's helped. Send us more questions about this if you want some follow-up, and we will see you next time.